So this week I took a tour at the National Zoo. Right off the bat, I was struck by how interesting these different sculptures are. And they're actually made from trash that was found in our oceans. Unfortunately, trash has been running off from all of our cityscapes and threatening the different sea creatures that live here. So that's unfortunate, but I really did enjoy these sculptures and I think they get their point across well. I should point out that the zoo is catered towards kids to an extent, so the tour was somewhat kid-focused, but that didn't keep it from being enjoyable. All the different facts that I was learning from my tour guide kept me interested. Having the tour guide show me how much larger a lion or tiger tooth is than the entire skull of a cheetah really puts into perspective the size range between these big cats. And I enjoyed comparing regular panda poop to red panda poop just as much as a little kid would. And it was interesting to see the role that new media played in the monitoring and conservation of these endangered pandas. The control center where they watch these animals and make sure they're safe reminds me of some of the news monitoring stations I've seen while touring network production studios. Interestingly, there were also several references to the beginnings of the zoo, both in its adoption and rearing of the original Smokey the bear, a cub that survived a forest fire, as well as the zoo's start as a conservation center for two live bison. In addition to the many outdoor exhibits, there were also several indoor exhibits behind glass, such as the small mammal house. I found these exhibits a little bit more difficult to film in because of the glare that was created on the glass and the smudges that occurred when little kids would put their faces up to the glass. I'm already reading up on ways to get around this, so I plan on gathering much better footage the next time I visit glass-enclosed spaces like this. There were even a few surprises on the tour. Although I've been to the zoo several different times, I've actually never seen the orangutans crossing over the zoo on their tightropes. To me, it almost looks like octopi. The way their arms bend back and forth is really fluid. I actually mean to say octopuses. Octopi is actually not a word. I'm sorry. Moving on. There were several exhibits in the zoo that I do wish were on the tour. For example, the invertebrate house was closed. It's personally my favorite. And there was also the bird house that I would have gone to after this tour was over, but there were just so many people by that point in the day that I honestly had to get out of there. But I still toured some of the American species that were at the zoo, such as this look at the American beaver, which is something I'm trying to film in the wild. It'll be difficult to get a close look like this. I personally think it's amazing how much this wolf looks like a dog. Obviously it's not, but it looks like one. And finally, I saw some local residents, such as chipmunks and a variety of invasive birds like house sparrows and European starlings. Overall, I found the tour very fun. In my opinion, animals are pretty cool. If you feel the same way, then I would say you'll definitely enjoy the National Zoo.